Hello everyone, I'm Santhosh Rajaput, working as IT consultant in Rani Chennamma University, Belagavi, and we'll be looking for this session a topic called integrating social media in online education system. So, firstly, I will be thankful to the SR VASTRAD Art, Science and Commerce College of Hungund for organizing such a 7 days FDP program for the faculties and research scholars for their learning development activity. So I will be presenting a presentation on the topic, as I said now. Yeah, as I said, the topic is integrating social media into online education. So we know the things integrating means and social media means and online education. So completely we'll discuss about the integrating social media into online education system. So firstly, the presentation will be containing the following parameters. So we'll look towards the impact of COVID-19 on education system, and what is the online education and the social media tools for education, and problems and difficulties of online learning activities, and problems and difficulties. Okay, then importance of the social media at presently in this scenario, and what to integrate what to integrate social media into online education specifically. We'll see that, and finally we'll discuss on some general topic about the online education system and social media also, and their drawbacks and uh, uh, the features of the social media also we will be looking in this presentation. Finally, we'll look up the conclusion. So let's start with that thing. Okay, let us break the topic title in three different categories like online education, social media, and integrating. So we'll discuss about these three different parts at presently. So we know that what is online education. So online education is a electorally supported teaching learning activity where we can share our study materials to the students, and the learners can interact with the teacher directly from the electoral mode. So that is what we say online education, and the online education contains many type of different categories like only audio learning, video learning, and virtual class learning. So that kind of different of online education systems are available at presently as we consider in the this scenario. So next thing is the social media. So after hearing the social media, automatically a picture comes in our mind that there are many social medias. Those will reflect on your mind, like your YouTube channels and Facebook pages, and some other Google Plus, and other Telegram applications, and so many. There are a lot of social media which are available at presently in the market. We are addicting to those social medias at presently. Day-to-day life is very familiar with the social media. So the social media can help us to mm, uh, overcome the problem what has happened in the education system. So we have thought of integrating the social media into the education system, so that we called online education through social media. So how we are going to do that, we will see in that the integration process. So integration is a separate thing apart of online education and social media. So integrating is the process how we are going to add the social media into online education system. So we know the education system and social media also. So how to integrate all those social media into online education for the convenience of learning and teaching activity of all the faculties also and the students seek also. Okay, let us see another slide. So we'll discuss here the social media. So presently we know that Facebook, WhatsApp, and YouTube channels are very famous social media available in uh, our country, across country, and the Twitter. So we know the use of these social medias. So how to use them, how to install them, how to share information or through that media. So those kind of information will be very relevant at this time. So instead of learning those applications from scratch, so what we know about the social media, that will helpful to us for integrating those things in online education. So basically, we need to see that what is the social media actually. So as we consider that social media is a mode of communication and sharing information to the society or any a particular group, uh, those kind of features will be provided from the software source. So that what we call a application or a website or a or any channels. So such kind of things we call social media. So we have many social medias. As I told you, after hearing the social media name, automatically we get some pictures in our mind that what kind of social medias are available and available in our surroundings. So that is what social media we pertain. Then how does it works actually? The social medias are a software applications basically. So those will be developed from the software agencies or using some software tools and languages called programming languages. uh, so using those things, the social media will be developed in software companies. So how exactly they are working on society? So after developing the software companies, exactly, they hosts it. They host over the internet. So they host, after hosting, they will be providing a platform to the user to register themselves and create their pages on the social media. And the user gets registered with the thing, and he posts his profile on the page, and the social media provides him a platform to create his information and makes him to share the data whatever he have to public society or in restricted mode like similar groups also, and for entire public, for a proper similar smaller groups, and for a college seek or a student seek. So these kind of platform it provides provided by the social media. So the social media works over the internet, that will be hosted on a software company's database server, so that will be made available to the end users through the internet. So social media works in that way. So where is it available actually? So the social media is available on a Play Store. Play Stores called mobile applications will be available on the Play Store, and for desktop applications you need to Google on the internet that a particular social media based website will be providing a executable file to download and install on your laptops or desktop systems. So for mobile users, you can find it easily in the Play Store or other many other stores available for and in different reason. Like and we'll see about the uh, 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 the social medias are available for what reason actually in different categories they comes under. So basically there will be different type of applications are coming in nowadays. They will be platform dependent, like Java based applications and some Android applications and Mac based applications. So these kind of different of categories are available in the internet with a particular platform. They will be hosted on there on that because why they are hosting in a Play Store and some other stores actually, Samsung store and any Galaxy store. Like they have different the stores to share the applications or the social medias. So those stores provides the certification for the applications that those they are will be relevant. They are relevant to use for society. So for that reason only the applications made available in a single platform. So public needs to go through that download channel only, and they have to download from the uh, defined area or location. So let's think about the integrating it. So social medias are already available nowadays, and we have a manual system education presently in rural areas, and somewhat developed areas are having some virtual classes and online learning also. But most of the areas are still we have manual teaching communication. So there will be classroom teaching very available at presently. So due to this corona pandemic, we are unable to face the classroom teaching at presently in any colleges and all others, universities and all. So we have directed been from the government of our education system. They says that we need to addict to the social medias and the learning channels and the libraries and e-learning websites. So those will be helpful at these days to learn continuously. So we cannot stop our learning due to this corona. So all the faculty, all the faculty members are addicting to the internet for the use of e-learning, e-teaching for the students. They are providing different of basic platforms to the students, and they are introducing some websites. They are providing some kind of libraries. So those will be very helpful to the students to teaching them and guiding them to how to how can they use their social medias as a study material, study mode, study medium. So social media are becoming study medium for at presently. So we'll see that later then. So what are the impacts of the COVID-19 on education system? So at presently, as we say, impact in sense, impact in so education system is kind of it is happening very much of disturbed actually due to the corona virus. So coronavirus has a very bad impact on education system. Presently, we have shut down all. You can see that all colleges are shut down due to the coronavirus. So we cannot gather the students in a classroom due to the dangerous virus. So we'll see that the impacts of COVID-19 on education system. So the COVID-19 has resulted in a school, colleges, universities, and all other learning institutions that shuts all across the world. Globally, a survey says that over 1.2 million children are out of the classroom now in a survey. In a survey, so we are facing a lot of disturbance due to the COVID-19. education. So, while countries are at different points in their COVID-19 infection rates worldwide, there are currently more than 1.2 billion children in 186 countries affected by educational institutions closer due to the pandemic. So we'll see in that in India, in the second week of March, state government across the country began shutting down schools and colleges and universities temporarily as a measure of contain of spread of the novel coronavirus. As we have seen that all the colleges, universities are shut down due to the corona. So it's a big impact on the learning system that we cannot interact with the physical interaction with the faculties and teachers for the discussion purpose also. And we can see that it's very close to a month and there is no certainly when they will reopen. So this is a crucial time for the education sector. Broad examinations and nursery schools admissions, entrance tests of various universities and competitive examinations among other all the held during this period. As the days passes by the in which way we are passing through, as the days pass by with no immediate solution to stop the outbreak of COVID-19, social and university closures will not only have a short-term impact on the country of learning. More than 285 million young learners in India, but also uh, and but also for teaching, for reaching economic and sociality of consequences. And during this COVID-19 impact on this education system, we are addicting to the online education system. As a result, education has changed dramatically with a disinfective rise of e-learning, whereby teaching is undertaken remotely and on digital platforms like online education systems. So we are changing the, we are into depending on the online education system due to this uh, pandemic. So what is the education like online education? So we can define that online education is electronically supported teaching and learning that relies on the internet mode for a teaching or teacher or student interaction and distribution of class materials or subject materials or any other source of teaching materials. So as you can see that online education goes by many names and comes in a variety of style: computer-based teaching, web-based teaching, internet-based teaching, online teaching, e-learning, electronic learning, m-learning, mobile learning, computer-aided distance education. So these kind of different title-based online education systems we know presently. So that is what we say, the different kind of modes available to learn online. So online education is a platform of education where students use their home computers through the internet. So what the problems we are facing for the online education presently? Why the students and teachers are not familiar with the online learning and teaching also. So problems which can be hard to deal with and solve. So presently we know that we have only source of e-learning because we don't have physical learning at universities and colleges also. So we need to stick to the e-learning processes. So as a student and as a teacher, we know that what are the complexities and difficulties to get dependent on the internet and social medias also, and some learning mediums also. So first thing is the computer literacy. So if you want to go for the online education, you must have technical knowledge about the computers, internets, and the download of the modes, mediums of the e-learning mediums, and installation of the softwares, and uh, some kind of the platforms you need to know, and surfing of the internet need to know. So these things are very essential to go for the online educations. So the faculty has to get addicted to the computer literacy first for initiate his e-teaching processes. So similarly, the student who belongs from the some urban areas, they will be having some kind of knowledges about the internet surfing and all the connectivity issues and all those. So for the problem is to the rural students. So they will not be aware of the computer literacy and the connectivities and some kind of softwares, platforms, and e-learning systems. They will not be familiar more. So they will that kind of problems arises when we go for the online education to addict. So first thing is the computer literacy. Computer literacy has to have brief knowledge about the computer's usability for all the e-learning processes for the teachers and or for students. Attending and creating an online courses requires a person to develop new computer skills, and while professors may already have the knowledge on how to navigate the necessary systems and programs, many students don't. So students has to have the knowledge about the computer literacy first to attend your classes. So you need to train them first. You need to train them first how you can attend the classes from which mode exactly. So those has to be communicated first to the students by instructing them. So after that only the effective communication will start for the e-learning process. So second thing is communication problems and the lack of human contact. So presently we are in dealing with presentation human contact classrooms. So we know that we are very familiar with the kind of teaching and learning activity. So suddenly we need to stick to the e-learning activities. So there will be little bit difficulty to the student and as well as the faculties to stick to the e-learning activity. Conducting as well as participating in an online courses after resulting in communication problems and limitations for both professors as well as students. Thus, exchanging thoughts, sharing ideas, asking questions, clarifying various issues, explaining the course materials, or simply talking may take some time and be difficult. Be difficult to the students. So this kind of problems arises when we are dealing with the e-learning. So there will be problem with the communication problems, and uh, we are facing the students in the screen, so that will not be very effective as the classroom. So basically, at first, that will be very difficult to us or the teachers to stick to the screen and elaborate everything and contact the student face to face and ask the doubts, clarify their doubts. So this kind of problems will comes in that. So next is boredom, search motivation and time management. So the applications are runs on some kind of time, and we need to manage time while teaching and while conducting online classes to the students as from batch wise you need to conduct a class. So we need to provide time to the students uh, for how much time you need to provide a particular subject, and how essential materials are required for explaining them, and how relevant you can convey them the today's topic, and taking assessment online. So this kind of some kind of motivational self motivational and thoughts and time management thing, you need to basically first know the things. Although the online courses work for a number of students, many fail and online classes, especially at community colleges. Community colleges, there will be very much of problem to stick to this online education system. So we'll see that later, then much more problems about the discussion. So the final thought about this thing is, there are many resources. There are many resources why we should incorporate social media in online education. We need to know that first. There are many e-resources available on the internet. Many universities have their own libraries. Many universities have their own journals. Many universities have their blogs. Many universities have their e-contents. So these kind of availability of a lot of sources available, there are yeah, in the learning modes. So why we need to incorporate the social medias in online education presently? The first thing is, first of all, the students are familiar with the social media. We know that all students are very familiar with the social media. They can operate that media in any kind of knowledge sharing purpose also. So they know the platform of the social medias, how they provides data sharing, how can they share their information, how can they contact through the social media, and how relevantly it can be used. So that kind of features are knowing by the students. So this will be very easy. This will be very easy to the faculty members to guide them, that you need to be attend the classes from the social media called this one. So they will be very much curiously ready for that, because they know the platform, how to get connected with the faculty member, their professor, how to get interact, and how to raise their hand from the session. So this kind of familiarity will be available in that. So for that, they will be no having any problems for using the social media and accessing their study materials on social media platform, contacting the teacher. Also, social media platform can help the students to perform and maintain interaction with others. Moreover, it allows only students to ask more questions and get answers faster. So that will be relevant to integrate these these social media into e-learning processes. For online teachers, social media gives a lot of new opportunities as well. The teachers can easily contact their students, how more possibly to help them acquire new knowledge, as well as engaging them. Also, it's much faster, easier, and convenient to give students feedback via social media platforms than an online system. So students can immediately interact with the faculty members while the class going on, and he can get his doubts cleared over there only. And the faculty will be, the media will be facilitated to the faculty members by sharing their information, the syllabus, some kind of notes, and they can share on that. The next thing is social media tools for education. So which social media exactly are relevant for this for relevant for integrating in online education? So we need to know that exactly what kind of applications or social medias we have to integrate in that. So there are many kind of social medias available at presently. So we need to know which is relevant for teaching, which is relevant for learning. So that kind of social medias has to be integrated for the education system. So we know that There are a lot of social medias in the world across that will be developed from some different companies, the different words, and that will be shared over all over the world globe for utilization of the online social medias. So first thing is we'll go through the Edmodo. Edmodo. So this is Edmodo. It indicates the education mode. So this is a kind of social media which helps very much for learning, learning and teaching activity uh, purpose. So Edmodo acts as a playground for teaching and learning with a place of posts, calendars, and general communications for teachers and students. Linking to the students becomes similar, simpler, and more efficient, as well as more effective when students enjoy the presentation of it. It makes it easy to share values, apps, and students. So that kind of platforms would be very helpful for these days. So you need to use such platforms which will be convenient to you and the students also. So we'll see the second one, the TED-Ed. So TED-Ed offers a variations of TED Talks. Like we know that we face some live shows where the inventors or some other professors explains the topics and shares the content over the TED channels. So TED talk shooter often animated clips of subjects such as science, technology, and social studies, literature, languages, arts, health, and the physiology, and business and economics with communities and clubs. And the site as also makes it effortless for collaboration. So TED Talks are very useful for the effective communications and effective teaching purpose also. So next thing is the Google Plus. We know that Google is very much essential for these. It has become very essential nowadays. So if you are not knowing any kind of information, you can search it immediately on Google. And there's another version of Google Plus. Google Plus is effective teaching, effective social media where we can share some data on that, and we can use this platform for teaching learning activity purpose also. So next thing is the Facebook. The Facebook is a very well-known social media where we know that there will be create opportunity to create there will be feature to create some groups. You can create class groups, learning groups, activity groups. So specifically you can post share your information to particular group also, and you will be having pages, Facebook pages, very strong pages called. You can share any kind of data over there, video material, PDF material, or any kind of file materials you can share to your student publicly and privately also. And another thing is the YouTube. YouTube, you are very familiar with the YouTube nowadays, and we can find a lakhs together videos available for on YouTube for study materials, or the faculty members can create their self channel on YouTube and share the contents of the class through a video mode or a text-based learning mode. So simply you need to create the YouTube channels and share that channel to your students and ask them to join to the channel. So they will be getting all the contents of whatever you post on the channel, that will be delivered to the student with a notification also. So next thing is the Twitter. So Twitter is a publicly known social media. Nowadays you are observing that Twitter is becoming famous nowadays. So the public shares the thoughts on that. So that can be used for the social media, that kind of social media will be used for this online education. So Twitter provides a teaching learning platform also. So we can go for Twitter also to be integrated in education system. So next one is the Instagram. We know that Instagram helps much for video content sharing and some graphic file sharing and content, whatever you have, that kind of information you can share through the Instagram. You can post your information on that. You can share the content of syllabus, you can on that. So next thing is the Skype. Skype is the video based teaching platform where you can have multiple students in that for interaction. So you can have the Skype a very broad network for effective teaching purpose. It provides you sharing your information, share your kind of files, share your data on while the communication or while class, while attending the classes by the students at present. At that time, you can share any kind of information through the Skype. So the Pinterest. The Pinterest is a very interesting thing. Pinterest comes like some kind of a blog. You can say that Pinterest is a blog where you can post your data. You can post your study material. You can post your information of pertaining to the class. So that will be kept on that page. That will be a web page that will be kept on that page. The student, you need to just communicate to the student and say share the link of your Pinterest dashboard, and the information will be in a fraction to your student. So Pinterest is a very useful social media which can be integrated to the education system. So next thing is academia.edu. So this is a web-based platform website which will be available for the education system. So there they have shared many kind of education uh, education purposed information, books, libraries, and journals, and all kind of resources are available on the platform. And that platform provides you teaching learning activity for the academic purpose. So what is the importance of social media? We'll see that. So next thing is we have so many social medias presently which can be relevant to integrate into the education system. So next thing is importance of the social media. So how important it is, social media, why it is important to nowadays. So today every app, tool and website has a social media component, from sharing videos on YouTube to sharing sandwiches orders on the Subway app. It is only natural to want to bring that kind of functionality and technological crosstalk to the online classrooms. The social medias are very effectively built, programmed by the engineers. You can say that the social media are providing the platform to us to share any kind of informations and share videos and all those kind of we know the functionality of the social medias. Moreover, the integration of social media into online education, like all instructional design, is a challenge that requires planning, research, practice, and goal setting for the integration purpose. So we need to consider the design of the instructional designs, challenges, what we require to be integrated. We cannot integrate complete social media into the education system. So we need some customization for the educational purpose. So that will be the relevance, that will be relevant to integrate into the online education system. So social medias are, I'm not telling that social medias are not perfect, but social medias can be customized to integrate the online education system. So we need to customize the social media as per the requirement of the education system and integrate it. So that is the point. So how to integrate social media into the online education? So as I told just now, Let's be honest that online teaching and learning is not easy. Both instructor as well as students need to deal. The students need to deal with the number of problems that arises from the limitations of virtual class, virtual educations. This online instruction requires novel creative methods which would help students acquire a new knowledge and make them feel less isolated. So we need to consider those things and integrate the social media into the online education system. So basically, we can take an example that is Facebook. Facebook is a public thing. So whatever you post, you can share it in a fraction of a second as publicly that anybody can share that. So in privately, what we can share is we can create a particular group on the Facebook, and we can share particular information to the particular group, and we can share a video. We can interact with our friends. We can interact with how we are going to make video calls. Such kind of video calls we can create a class calls. So we need to create a group of class wise. We need to organize some video classes. So that kind of nature will be helpful to integrate such social media into the education system. So this is what about integrating the social media into education system. So next thing, let us discuss it familiarly. Uh, does social media have the power to improve the virtual education? You can think that why we need to integrate the social media into online education system. Why should not we go for the video lecturing platforms and e-content sites and some kind of other learning websites also available? So how relevance is, and how it is, how the social media improves the online education system. So that is the point, because the social media is a very broadly spreaded software tool that every student knows the social media. So if we can create some virtual settings in that and customization in that particular social media, the student easily grabs it. So if you are going to introduce new platform to the student, then that will be little bit difficult to the student to get knowing about the tool or platform. So we need to stick to the very well known this social media, and we can make some customization in that and instruct the student to use it. So this will be very easy to the student to get connected with you. So that is the point. So that the social media have some kind of power to uh, get resumed the online education system. So second thing, uh, can it solve most of the problems both online educators as well as online students strove to overcome each and every day? So basically, there will be little bit difficulty to the unknowing students. So who don't know the social media, they will having some kind of basic difficulties, but they will be coming to know very easily because they will be having the social media known friend. So they will be helping to them to overcome that kind of problems, some kind of issues, whatever they face. So that will be very easier to instead of um, introducing a new platform to learning. So that will be helpful to for that. Next thing is, would incorporating it into virtual teaching and learning make a difference? Yes, dear friends, it makes difference, because learning is an activity that we have classroom learning activity, and we are sticking now to the online learning. So we will be getting familiar with what we know first thing. So if we are not aware about any some kind of new portal, then we will not be much interested to learn that thing. So we don't know how to operate the portals. We don't know how to fetch the informations. So we are not familiar with the portal. So we will not addict to that portal easily. So the known portals are the social medias. The social media we are know very excellently know those. So which option comes where, and how can I share the data? How can I fetch the data which has shared? So that kind of features are incorporated in the social media. So what we know now presently. So that makes little difference in the learning activity or teaching activity. So next thing is the challenges of online education and how social media can help to overcome them. So online education systems, as we know, there are e-content portals, there are websites, there are e-libraries, and there are lot lot of e-resources available presently. The universities are hosting their self servers and shares their data to other colleges also. So that will be a part. So those are the online education learning systems, and online virtual classes will be there. So those are not familiar with all the society. So the social media, if we change those modes into social media, we integrate those sites into social media, then there will be a lot of users for those, and those will be fetched, those will be learned over there. So social media helps us into that aspect. So the next thing is, as we saw the social media tools, the use of Facebook page to broadcast updates and alerts, how the pages will be taken effectively to broadcast the information. So Facebook can be the perfect social media platform to incorporate into the classroom. So how relevant it is, the Facebook is very useful to incorporate the classroom. Instead of putting instructions and students like through a new learning curve when dealing with a traditional online classroom dashboard, sticking to something everyone already knows. So we need not to create a separate dashboard for the learning activity. So we need to stick to the publicly known platforms for the online learning purpose at this scenario, because learning a tool requires some time to get familiar with that, and after that only you can stick to learning through the mode. So have students follow the class's Facebook page, and their instructors can use it to post class updates, share homework assignments, and encourage discussions. So pages are very useful in Facebook. So he can create, professor can create a page and share content and share home assignments and share information through the pages. So it will be very relevant for uh, students and teacher also. So use of a Facebook group to stream live lectures and course discussions. So instructors can also create Facebook groups. So we know that there will be some kind of groups we can create and monitor the particular user what he has to be fed. So that kind of we can create some groups called classroom groups for semester, different semesters, different subject wise groups. So we can create such groups and post our information in that, and let's share your video on that. So particularly such kind of students only fetches the information through the groups, and live streaming can be done over there through the WhatsApp call, video conferencing. So the students can be joining the same group for a particular subject purpose. So next thing is the Twitter. Twitter is a great as discussion board or message board for a class. Teachers can create a single Twitter handle per class and reuse it every year or they can create a new handle each school years. This will be very useful for the teachers to create their separate dashboard for the class wise and reuse it for upcoming years also. The teacher can use Twitter to post reminders for assignments, due dates, or share inspirational quotes and helpful links to practice the quizzes or resources also. So next one is Instagram. Instagram, we are very familiar with that thing. So in visual heavy classes, the students can use Instagram to present a series of photos or graphics in a visual appealing manner. So Instagram allows students to practice digital storytelling in way that other social media platforms may fall short. So this will be very helpful to the students to share the graphical visuals, and students can create class specific Instagram accounts and may delete them after the course is over of they so choose. So the student will be having independency in the Instagram to create their own specific accounts for the particular reason. So they can create all that. So creating a class blog for discussions. So blog, as earlier I told, the blog will be a web page where you can create a class. You can create a class of your own and have a different kind of subjects on that. So you can create many pages over the blog, and you can share post your information into that and teaching material into that. The student simply visits your blog and grabs the knowledge from the blog spots what you have created. The course syllabus and assignments, updates, and resources can be shared on the blog as a central location as well. So such a web page it is, which supports all the devices to access easily, and you can share simply a URL of your blog to the class. So student will get connected to the blog and fetches their information what they require. And earlier, as I discussed, the Pinterest is the thing where you can post your information and you can monitor them, edit them, and all kind of feature will be available on the Pinterest dashboard. And include the social medias like on your college websites. If you are having a website specifically on your name or your institution or your university, you need to add those social medias, link them on your website. So as this Rani Chennamma University has linked their social media channels on their website, you can make them on your website. So that will be very helpful to the student to get connected with your channels. Instead of searching for a URL, they simply visits your website and they will be getting connected with the particular channel or study material. They fetches it easily. So that will be convenient to students. So Google Plus, as we discussed earlier, Google supports two courses, contents and database concepts introduced to the OPIM to students and the social media technology and fulfill their learning goals. So creating community classrooms, outdoor classrooms, keep students updated about the other researchers, and all those good features will be available in the Google Plus. So it provides a classroom, Google Classroom, and nowadays it's very popular to all the faculty members. They are sharing their content on that Google Classroom, and they are very easy to fetch the students. Students can grab it easily, whatever the content will be shared from the college or any faculty member. So next thing we have e-libraries. So nowadays we need not to bother for the book or paper, physical paper or physical book. So you can go ahead with the e-libraries available in these days. So all the universities have e-libraries. All the colleges, all the institutions, all the management things are having a much bigger library portals they have in their own databases or managed databases. So if we have the e-library resources, we can study at any particular place. We can go ahead with our electronic device and can fetch and grab the information from any sources. So next thing is conclusion. In the world with over 70% of internet users active on social networks. So this is the big thing to us, that the world 70% of population is addicted to the social media. So social media helps us to improve our online education system and study. So people spend at least 1 hour a day on average on those social networks. So social networks are very helpful to the education system to integrate them into the education system, to implement the education over online based. We have to conclude that social network have become a sort of reality in which people becomes becomes communicate, interact, and obviously trust the social media. Whatever you post on the social media, that will be shared and verified, and all such kind of things will happen on that. So social media will be very helpful for that. In such word, we have to admit that social networks are a new dimension of reality that has become a part of the education system as well. And we are fetching much more information from the social media nowadays. So that will be very helpful to us. So with this, I will conclude the topic what was assigned to us. So finally, we know that online education system little bit difficult to us to fetch the content presently, but if social medias are integrated into the online education system, we will be a little bit familiar to the access of content and study materials from the social media. So this concludes with the topic, and we'll close the session this time. And thank you for patient hearing, and all the best, dear participants. Go ahead with further days of this FDP program. Thank you and all.